Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we're going to be working on a new unit today talking about service. In this class, we learn through communication. These are conversation classes. So you can come and go as you like, but what we'll do is we'll divide the unit into 4 parts. First, you'll learn vocabulary through conversation. Then you'll learn key expressions in a business situation, like doing a presentation, like having a meeting. Then we'll try to find a practical application to that, to a situation. We'll look at a little grammar in the 4th part, and then to end the unit, we try to do a simulation of a work task or a work project, something you'd really have to do, and we'll put all those skills together into one place. Well, that's a bit about my class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means when you're not speaking, turn off your microphone so that we can keep the classroom quiet. When you are speaking, tune in to the new words that you're learning. Use them actively so that I can correct you. And rule 3 is open up. Open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. Okay, we're going to get started in just a moment. Let me just get my face and name on the screen. One moment here. Verbling teacher. I have to write this and get it on the screen. Let's see if we can see that. Okay, so my camera should now be working. And before we begin, let's just do a quick hello to, first was Alebek. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, you did right. Hello, teacher.
Very good. And Alebek, where are you from?
From Kazakhstan.
From Kazakhstan. Okay, very good. It's a little bit difficult to hear you. A little bit. I can hear you, but it's a little bit, I don't know, a little hard. What kind of microphone are you using? Are you using this kind of microphone, Alebek?
No, I'm on the iPad.
On an iPad. So you have the microphone on the iPad, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can hear you, but it sounds a little funny. Maybe it's your connection. So
Okay.
I'll just ask you to turn off the microphone when you're not speaking, okay? So we don't pick up the whole room wherever you are. Let me say a quick hello to Pedro. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, John.
How are you, Pedro?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm okay. And Pedro, where are you from?
I'm from Jaén, southeast Spain.
From what's the place?
Jaén. It's called Jaén.
Jaén.
It's a small city in the region of Andalusia.
Jaén. That's J-A-I-N?
Yes, right.
Jaén. Okay, good. I've never heard of that before.
It's near to Granada. I don't know if you know Granada or Seville.
I know Seville. Been there, yeah.
Yes, but it's only a couple of hours from Seville.
Ah, okay, okay. Very good. Jaén. Now I know a new place.
Nice to meet you.
1 second. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second.
Bless you.
I have to turn off my microphone or I'm going to kill one of you. Hold on a second. Wait 1 second. I just came back to Portugal and I'm allergic to Portugal. I'm always sneezing when I'm here. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. It's a very quiet Monday. I don't know where everyone is. Maybe everyone is asleep. But we're gonna start with or without them, because Yuki should be here. Igor should be here, but I don't know. Maybe they're working or something. We're gonna start with or without them. In your chat window, in just a second, you're gonna see a link that says presentation. Okay, we're all going to open that oh no, I'm not going to open it. You're going to open that presentation. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you So you don't have to open it if you don't want to.
Okay.
And I'm going to be changing this presentation as well. So later on, it'll look a little different. Today, I just put the bare minimum information on the screen. Okay, so give me just a second to... how am I going to do this? Did I download it? No, I didn't. You know what? I have to open it as well. I just realized I didn't download it. Give me just a second because I'm going to share it with you as a PDF so that I can see you as we're speaking. So I'm going to download that right now. One second. And what we're going to do is to talk about service, we're going to start by doing a little brainstorming activity. We're going to look at the image on the first page of the slide, and we've got a technique to talk about images in this class. And I'm going to share that with you in just a second. First, I have to open this. One moment. Talking about service, okay. Okay, I got it open. So let me share my screen with you, and we'll all be looking at the same thing at the same time. There we go. Can you see that all right?
Yeah.
Great. So, our technique, wait a second. Got one more thing I need to do. I need to open the notes as well so that I can direct you to our description. So in order to start thinking about the vocabulary you need, it's best to talk about the topic itself. And as you talk about it, you'll start to see what words you know and what words you don't know. So I usually do that by starting with a picture. And what you'll see on the screen is exactly that, a picture of a situation. Hang on a second, because what I'm going to do is share my screen with you for the notes, and you can take a look at a special technique we use, which is really good if you're ever going to take an international exam, when you have to start a conversation by looking at picture prompts. They'll show you pictures, they'll ask you a thematic question. So I adapted this from a technique that we use to do the TOEFL or to do the Business English Certificate or the first certificate. Give me just a second to open my notes, and I'll share my screen with you so you can see the technique. It's not opening. Hold on. Oh, it's very slow. Hold on a second. All right. Maybe because I'm sharing my screen. Hold on a second. Let me stop sharing my screen. Maybe if I turn that off for a second. Oh, look, we got more people too. See? I come back to the classroom now. I can see all of you. Give me just a second to turn off my screen sharing. And let's say, while we're waiting for this to open, let me say a quick hello to, we've got Amir back. Okay, nice to have you, Amir. We've got Nezreen. Am I saying that right? Nezreen?
Yeah, almost. Nesreen, yes.
It's a little hard to hear you. Say it one more time, please.
It's Nesreen, yes. Almost.
Almost.
Nesreen.
Nisreen.
Yeah.
And you're from?
Egypt.
Oh, your connection is not so good. It's hard to hear you. I think you said Egypt.
Yes, I'm from Egypt.
Okay, very good. It's a little bit difficult to hear you because your voice is getting cut. And we've got Alibek as well, and we've got Pedro. Okay, we've got all of us. We're all good. Okay, good. So, first thing I'm going to do before we get started is just show you the technique I was mentioning. So what you're going to see on your screen in just a minute, no, what you're going to see in the chat window is a link. And Anna's there. Anna, you can come into class as well. You'll see Getting Results in Business Notes. Okay? That's your link. If you want to open it, you can. I'll also share the page with you because I want you to look at the steps we're going to go through to discuss the theme of service in relation to the picture. Hang on a second, because for some reason my computer is really slow right now. So give me a second and I'll get this open for you. Ah, okay, it's more or less there. Okay, let me share my screen quickly so I'll show you the right page. 1 second. There we go. Okay, when you open it, you'll see the blue graphic that says Getting Results in Business. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Excellent. When we have the Hangout open, sometimes Google Docs are load very slowly, like mine is. So that's why I say it's better to open this on your page, on your screen. Okay, mine seems to be working. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is scroll down to get to today's class. I'm going to create a new class for you with notes. Okay, you've got my contact information. Then it says units completed so far. Okay, so first I'm going to add a new unit because we're going to start a new one today. This unit will be Unit 21. I've been doing this class for a year now, so we've done 20 units. This is our third level. We started in level A2, and we're up to level B2. So we're halfway through the intermediate level, and this one is going to be called service, talking about service. So there's 21 service, and then down below that it says jump to topic. Okay, I'm going to create a new unit right now. So instead of unit 20, whoops, uh-oh, what happened? I went to the wrong page. Hold on. Instead of unit 20 being innovative, you're going to see unit 21, talking about service. Let's make sure that I've added that to the jump to topic page. I'm going to update this right now. Boom. Okay, so if you ever get lost, just click on Unit 21. Got the link, click. It'll bring you to page 5 or wherever we are. Okay? So I'm going to put our notes there. If we talk about vocabulary, I'm going to say words. If we talk about vocabulary, you'll see the words appear here so that you can use them after class. But the first thing I want to do is look at the bottom here. It says jump to topic, notes, connectors of sequence, how to describe a photo or picture, phone skills. When we learn a particular technique, I try to put the notes at the bottom where it says notes, and today we're going to look at how to describe a photo. Click on there, brings you to page 12, and then you've got our technique in front of you. So when you describe a photo, to try to start to look at the vocabulary that you know and the vocabulary that you don't know. And in particular, if you're trying to take an international exam like the TOEFL or the TOEIC, a good way to help you talk about the topic when you're looking at a picture is to go through these 4 steps. In other words, if someone says, what do you see in the picture? I want you to break that down into 4 steps that make it easier to describe the picture. Okay, so Pedro, I want you to read step number 1 for us on the screen.
Say what you see.
Okay.
There appears to be.
Good.
There most likely is.
Good.
It is to be.
So you use those connectors. Connectors are words or phrases that link your ideas together. Connectors. You use those connectors to say what you see. Let's imagine I see a picture of a puppy. I would say, there appears to be a puppy. Because it sounds good. It sounds like a native speaker. There most likely is a puppy in the picture. I'm not sure. I think there is. All right. And Nesreen, can you read number 2 for us on the screen? Nesreen, are you there? Going once?
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay.
Can you read number
Can you
2
hear
for us?
me? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gus, speculate about why you are being shown in a detail in it.
Yeah, why you're being shown it or why you're being shown a detail in it. So what's the reason for the picture? Let's read our connectors.
Okay. There may or might be
Good.
a puppy again.
Okay. Good. Good.
I suppose it's a puppy.
Good.
I imagine it's a puppy.
And then illustrating. Yeah.
Mm.
Now this one's more confusing. Look, if you do or don't. So this is what I mean. Illustrating and explaining. And explaining. Whoops. Sorry. Not explaining your ideas. If you do, if you don't, what's another good illustration? Take, say, all right, let me give you an example. Instead of saying there might be a puppy, we're going to focus on why the puppy is shown. Okay? Well, there might be a protection for animals society in this picture. So you're guessing about why you're seeing it. I suppose this has to do with how human beings treat animals. I'd imagine that there's problems in some places with how animals are treated, and these societies or these organizations are created to help protect them. So I'm using the connectors there to talk about the reason why. Is that clear, Nazreen?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Okay, good. And then for illustrating or explaining, you might say, if you don't take care of animals, well, you have a big problem in cities, health problems, because you'll have the city overrun with animals and they'll get sick. Take, say, cats. If you don't get the stray cat on the street fixed, it's not only bad for the cat, it's bad for the city, because they'll keep reproducing and there'll be more and more cats. I don't know. Okay? So that's just an example of how to talk about why you're seeing the picture. All right, Amir, do you think you can read number 3 for us?
Okay. Guess.
Number 3, not number 2, number 3.
Okay. Compare and contrast it to something you are familiar with. Both things have whereas.
Okay, good. Let me give you an example. Well, now here you could describe 2 pictures, or you can describe a picture and a situation that you know about. So it says both things have. Well, you might say both where I'm from and the picture have animals and humane societies or humane organizations in them. Whereas where I live, we have the SPCA, Society to Protect Animals. In the picture, it shows some people getting together to do it on their own. Whereas shows a contrast. Both things have shows a comparison. Now, I'll add more information to this list, but for now you've got some basic ways to get started. Okay? And let's do one last one. Who else is here? We have Pedro, Shireen, Amir, Alibek. Alibek, can you read number 4 for us?
Okay, if you can scroll up the page a little bit. Okay, that's okay. Number 4, offer a personal preference. Draw a conclusion, if it's possible. I prefer, well, I'd say...
Any kind of, so these are 2 examples. I'd prefer to live in a place that took care of its animals. Well, I'd say that protecting animals is a really important thing, not just for the animals, but for the community. So these are 2 quick examples of things that you might say. By the way, speaking of animals, let me show you an animal here. Here's a cat. that we have to protect. Can you see him?
Yes.
I'm going to wave hi to you. Hi! Hello!
Hello.
Okay, we'll put the cat away. Let's put the cat away over here. All right. That is a quick and easy way to break the task of talking about a topic down, to break it down into 4 steps. Now we're going to apply this, okay? We're going to try this together. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and let's go back to our presentation. Whoops, where's my presentation? Oh, I closed it, that's why. Hold on a second, I need to open it again. One moment, lost my presentation. One moment. Hold on a second. Where are my downloads? Oh, I can't believe I didn't download this to the right place. 1 second. Here we go. Showing folder. Let me put this on my desktop so I don't lose it again. Hang on a second. Move this to my desktop. Boom. Okay. Close this. Sorry about this. Give me a second and I'll be open in just a minute. Talking about service. Here we go. Is this open? Is it not open? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again and we're going to apply this to the picture. And that will get us started for the unit. And then we'll have a little free discussion afterwards. And as we do this, I will make notes about the vocabulary and put it for you in the notes document. So that'll give you a list of words that maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, but it'll get you started with the topic. And then the later classes, we're going to be reading, a little bit of writing, learning a bit of grammar, all in these business conversation classes about service. So let's take a look at the picture now. Here's what we're going to do. We got 4 people right now. So in part 1 of this exercise, you are each going to choose just one of those 4 steps, and you're going to contribute to a group discussion about the picture. So on my screen, I have Pedro, and then Nisreen, and then Amir, and then Alibek. So in that order, let's try to do 1 step at a time, and I will write the answers in today's class, which is, what did I say? Class number, hold on. I gotta see where we are. Unit 21 on page 5. I'll write this on page 5, okay? So first of all, let's start with Pedro. Hang on. You know what I'm going to do to make this a little easier is I'm going to take a screenshot and put it on the screen so we can just go back and forth quickly. Hold on. Screen. Paste. Give me a second and I'll get this on screen quickly. Crop. And let me save it as a JPEG so I can share it really quickly. Can I save this as... let's save it as a JPEG, it's easier. And let me put this on the desktop. Boom. Boom, desktop, save. Close. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. There's the picture, and when we need to, I will quickly... hold on. If I can turn this into a PDF, it'd be a little bit easier. I don't know if I can. Let me open this first as a JPEG. Okay. So is that being shared? Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. There it is. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to flip back and forth. Okay? But that information is in your notes on page 12, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's on page 12.
Yes, page 12.
Okay, good. Okay, so if there's any questions, I'll try to put it back on screen. Otherwise, you go to the notes to page 12 and you can see the steps. Pedro, you are going to take step 1. Okay? I'm going to write the results. You do step 1. And let me get the picture back on screen for step 1. So, talking about service. Okay? Say what you see, David. Oh my God, Pedro. Say what you see.
I'm not sure the exactly word is motorcycle dealer, but it appears to be a motorcycle dealer, and there might be a couple trying to buy a motorbike, and the other expression.
Trying to buy a motorbike.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
There's most likely is I don't know, a weekend, and the couple are spending their time trying to find a good shop to buy their motorbike.
Good. Okay, so I'm writing this on page 5. It appears to be a motorcycle dealer.
Mm.
Okay, the place is a dealership.
Okay.
Dealership. The person is a dealer.
Mm-hmm.
You can see this on the top of page 5 where it says Unit 21 talking about service. So the first word is going to be dealership and dealer. Dealer is a person. Dealership is the place. So it appears to be, and this is going to be called a group description. Okay. It appears to be a motorcycle dealership, Pedro said. There might be a couple trying to buy a motorbike. Instead of there might be, so in the photo, we're going to use it here, it sounds better. In the photo, it might be a couple trying to buy a motorbike. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now here it says they're most likely. Okay, you can say that, but let's change it just a bit. Let's just start with most likely. Most likely, a couple. Now, what did you say about the couple? They're going around to different places.
I think it's most. I told something wrong because there's most likely means that it's the more probably thing.
Right. Correct.
So maybe they are most likely are going to buy a new motorcycle.
Okay. So they are most likely. When you buy a motorcycle, do you have to decide on the price? Does this look like a new place? New motorcycles, old motorcycles? What are they actually doing with that guy?
I don't know if they are testing the motorbike or...
Okay, that's good. They are most likely testing out motorbike. We're going to say motorcycle here instead of bike because a motorbike is small and not very powerful. That looks like a motorcycle. That looks like a serious thing. Looks like a Harley. Okay, good. Look at our description so far. Just doing one step, we got this stuff. We got this much information. It appears to be a motorcycle dealership somewhere. Where do you think it is, Pedro? Where do you think it is?
I don't know.
Is it in your city?
I don't think so. But
no. Where do you think it is?
Maybe in a capital, or but I don't know. I don't know if there is some clue on the picture to find out the place.
I don't know either, but just curious what you think. Do you think this is in Europe? Do you think it's in America? Where do you think it is?
I think it's America because the guy looks from America.
It does, okay. Somewhere in the States. Right? Because the guy, what kind of guy is that?
The dealer
The dealer, because the dealer
Dealer looks as if he was from the States.
was from or is from?
Is from. Okay.
Yeah. The dealer looks like he.
Or looks
he's-
as if.
Nope, looks like.
Okay.
Looks as if means you're not sure. It's like not possible. It might not be possible. Looks like you're sure.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, the dealer looks like he's from, I don't know. He looks like he's from
Detroit.
Detroit. Right? He's got tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, tattoos wrong, sorry. 2 T's. In the photo, it might be a couple trying out. Trying by a motorcycle. They are most likely testing out the one they like best. Okay, so I'm changing a few things in your description, Pedro, to make it sound more like a native speaker.
Mhm.
Okay? But it sounds good. We got some good vocabulary there. Okay, very good. So I think, Nesreen, you are next. Okay? So now for you, you can go to page 12, or look at the screen for a second, and I'm going to put that back on screen. Remember, step 2 now is to guess why you're seeing this picture. The topic is talking about service. So you have to speculate about why we're looking at this picture in relation to service. What is it we should be thinking about? You can say there might be, I suppose, I'd imagine, or you could give an example or an illustration. All right? So those notes are on page 12. Let's get the picture back on screen. Okay? So why are we looking at this picture? What do you think?
Okay.
I suppose.
The couple want to buy a new motorcycle because
Well, think
they
about
want to take.
service now.
Mhm.
Think about service. So in order to start coming up with vocabulary about our topic, which is service, think about the relation between the dealer, the guy with the tattoo, and the couple on the motorcycle. Think about their relationship. So what are we seeing in this picture that talks about service? What kind of service? How the service is? Think about that.
I suppose he's friendly with them, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I suppose they're having a good time because the dealer is friendly or seems friendly.
Yeah, seems friendly.
Seems friendly is better than is because we don't know for sure if he is. We're looking at a picture, so we have to use words that speculate. Because he seems friendly. Okay, very good. That's a good first statement. Want to add anything to that?
Well, I might speak about the husband, the man.
Good. Okay.
I'd imagine that he enjoys or that he is happy with the dealer's descriptions for the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because he seemed delighted.
Okay, good.
You can see that
So,
in his face.
Good. So I'd imagine that the husband is happy with the dealer's description of the motorcycle or cycles.
Yes.
Which you can see on his face. He seems delighted. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Very good. I agree. Now we got to change one word. The word is description. So now we're actually learning English about service because description is not the best word here. Think about.
Can I say quality?
You can, yeah. But description is a noun. So what I want is I want you to substitute the word for the word description for another word that is more about service and sales. Okay? What's he actually doing? He's not just describing because he's not writing a story. He's trying to sell a motorcycle. If he doesn't sell it, he doesn't make any money. Okay?
His marketing? His marketing?
Better. Okay, much better. The dealer's marketing better. Anyone else want to help her out? What's another word she could use besides marketing? Any other ideas, class?
Persuading.
Persuading. Okay. That's not strictly a business sales word, but it's a good word. So look, we've got some good words though. We're going to see the difference later. Marketing, persuasion, or persuading. Anything else? Anyone?
Maybe she's doing some commercial.
Commercial is a good keyword. You mean commercial like commercial on television, or you mean commercial like a commercial place where you sell things?
It's like an commercial at TV.
Ah, okay. So we can say commercial, we can say ad, we can say TV commercial.
Yes.
Maybe it's a TV commercial.
Advertisement, yeah.
Advertisement, exactly. Advertisement, which I just spelled wrong. Sorry about that. Okay, and you can see all that vocabulary on page 5. Dealership place, dealer person, marketing, persuasion number 4, persuading number 5, commercial meaning ad, TV commercial or advertisement. Okay, let me give you a new word. The word is pitch. Pitch. P-I-T-C-H. Pitch. We're going to substitute description with sales pitch. Sales pitch. You know what that means? Sales pitch, Nazreen? Sales pitch.
I don't.
Okay, sales pitch is a short, not just description. It's a short, persuasive description. Short, persuasive story that convinces you that something is good quality. A sales pitch is meant to convince you to buy something. Pitch. Pitch means to throw. When you're at a baseball game, the pitcher pitches the ball and the batter hits it. When you're watching a cricket game, they bowl or pitch the ball. When you're watching a baseball game, we say pitch. So pitch means to throw. In other words, they're going to throw an idea, and if you hit it, it means you like it. You hit it back. Pitch. Okay, so let's listen to our description. Actually, Pedro, you're going to read number 1, and Nazreen, if you can't see this, I'll share my screen with you. You can read number 2. We're going to see how our description sounds so far. So give me a second to share my screen. 1 second. Okay? Go ahead, Pedro. Read number 1 for us, and Nazreen, read number 2.
It appears to be a motorcycle dealership somewhere in the States because the dealer looks like he's from Detroit. He's got tattoos. In the photo, it might be a couple trying to buy a motorcycle. They are most likely testing out the one they like best.
Nazreen?
I suppose they're having a good time because the dealer seems friendly. I'd imagine that the husband is happy with the dealer's sales pitch, sales pitch of the motorcycle, which you can see on his face. He seems delighted.
Well, so far it sounds very good. If you were taking the TOEIC or the TOEFL or the CAE or the BEC, BEC, this would earn you high marks because you're not just saying one word, you're really communicating an idea. It sounds good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to parts 3 and 4. So Amir, this one is going to be for you. Back on the screen, you can see in part 3, compare and contrast. Now that we know what we see, and now that we know why we're seeing it, we have one idea about why we're seeing it, we're going to compare and contrast why we're seeing it to something that we know using both things have, whereas, on one hand, on the other hand, there's many things we could say here. Okay? So first, Amir, do you have any experience like what you see in the picture? Do you have any personal experience like this? Have you ever bought a motorcycle or a car?
Yes, exactly. I bought a car 3 years ago, and
Okay, great. So you can relate to this picture. You can relate to this personally.
yeah, exactly. Well, they were friendly and helped me to choose another car.
Okay, very good. Okay, so what you're going to do is use one or both of those key connectors in a compare and contrast, and you're going to talk about your experience and what you liked as opposed to what you're seeing in the picture. You're going to make a comparison or a contrast between the picture and your experience 3 years ago buying the car. Okay? Let's give it a try. I'll write the results and make corrections.
Okay.
Here, instead of saying both things have, you could say both situations, or in both situations, or you could say whereas in the picture, blah, 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 in my experience, blah, blah, blah. Or you can use different connectors. You don't have to use only those. You can use others that sound good. Okay, and I'll correct you as you do it. Okay?
Okay. Whereas in my experience, I had a good experience with buying a new car, and the dealers helped me how to choose a beautiful car, and it really works.
Okay, good. Now, you have to connect that to the picture, because what we're going to do is we're imagining we're in a test situation. In the test, they show you pictures because they want you to talk, they want to test your vocabulary. So what we're doing is we're saying all three of these things. When you get to part 3, you have to connect your experience back to the picture in some way. So, whereas I had a good experience in buying a car, well, whereas is to show a contrast. So if you're going to say whereas I had a good experience, it would seem logical to say in the picture they're not having a good experience, to show a contrast. So I don't know if we should use whereas. We have to show a contrast, so that's not really a contrast. The picture, are they having a good time or a bad time, Amir, in the picture?
Exactly, it seems they have a good time because the dealer tried to convince them to buy a new motorcycle here.
Okay, I agree. So we're not going to say whereas because that would show a contrast. Okay, so what we're going to do is use the first connector, which says both things have, and we're going to say, instead of things, we're going to say both, now we're going to say in both the picture and my experience. In both the picture and my experience of buying a new car. Okay, now Amir, you need to give us some descriptions. Instead of saying whereas, we're going to say both. In both the picture and my experience of the new car, what was similar? Tell me what was similar in both the picture and your experience.
Exactly, the dealers are friendly and trying to convince us how to choose between cars or motorcycles as in this picture.
Good. Instead of saying convince, Amir, we're going to say informative. Repeat, informative.
Informative.
That's it.
Yeah.
Informative. The reason I'm not going to say convince is because convince is when the other person doesn't want it. You have to convince them. Here, it's not necessarily true. Maybe you do want a car. But what you're really trying to say is that the dealer was friendly and informative. The dealer was friendly and informative, trying to help us decide which was best fit for our needs. Okay, so I'm going to change what you said just a little bit. I'm going to add some native English sounding expressions. Okay? Now, let's see if we can do this again. We're going to read all three to see how it sounds. 1 second. Okay, so let's try it one more time. Pedro, Nisreen, and then Amir. 1, 2, and 3.
Shall I start reading?
Yep.
It appears to be a motorcycle dealership somewhere in the States because the dealer looks like he's from Detroit. He's got tattoos in the photo.
Wait. He's got tattoos. Not tattoos, but he's got tattoos.
Okay. He's got tattoos.
Good.
In the photo, it might be a couple trying to buy a motorcycle. They are most likely testing out the one they like best.
Nisreen?
I suppose they're having a good time because the dealer seemed friendly. Imagine that the husband is happy with the dealer's sales pitch of the motorcycle, which you can see on his face. He seems delighted.
Good. Amir?
Yeah, in both the pictures and my experience of buying a new car, the dealer was friendly and informative, trying to help us decide which was the best fit for our needs.
Very good. It sounds good. It really sounds good. If you were being tested, this would earn you about 100% because you're expressing an idea, you've got some good vocabulary, and it sounds like what you would say in a real conversation. That's exactly what you want. Okay, last one. I'm going to put the steps back on the screen, and we're going to go to Alibek. And the last one, as you can see, you have to offer a personal preference or draw a conclusion if it's possible. A conclusion might be the best kind of dealer. A conclusion might be the best kind of service. Or a personal preference is which kind of service, dealer, situation that you prefer. Okay, you can say I'd prefer, or you can give an example like well I'd say, or well to me. These are all things you could say in step 4. Okay, let's get the picture back on screen. 1 second. Okay, now Alibek, think about what we've talked about in steps 1, 2, and 3 so far, and see if you can make a smooth connection between your new idea and the other 3 ideas mentioned as well. Talk about your personal preference, okay?
Okay. Well, I'd say that according to that photo, we can say that American dealership is very very good. It seems to be like that, and I can say that the dealer is a very kind of a person.
Kind? You said kind?
Kind, yes.
Ah, okay. Seems to be kind. Okay.
Yes. And he seems more like the man who has that great experience for selling that bikes. I prefer to be there someday. And maybe I wanted to deal with that man, with that dealership. So that's my conclusion.
Okay, good, but you need a second part because it says, you said, I'd prefer to deal with that kind of dealer. But when you say that, when you compare, you should say
Okay.
than. I prefer to deal with that kind of salesperson than what?
Then usual dealer, you know that I'm boring. The regular dealer who just think that that job is his their usual regular thing, and they don't do some enthusiastic with that job. But
Okay, good.
this guy seems to be more like professional.
Okay, good. Good. Professional is a good idea. Very good. Okay, very good. So look, let's take a look at that. Let me make a few corrections now. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. This time, let's go to the document on page 5. I'm going to ask you just to mute your microphone, Alibek, because it sounds like very noisy. Okay, very good. So in number 4, part 4, it says, I'd say that in the photo, American dealers, I'd say that in the photo, it shows that American dealers are very good. And look, I'm going to add a little connector. The connector is as. As and because mean the same thing. I'd say that in the photo, oh, sorry, it should be it.
It shows.
Yeah, it shows that American dealers are very good. And we said he's probably American. That's why we're saying that. As they seem to be, you said kind. Okay, I want to substitute kind for a more business-like word. Kind is like, be kind to animals. I'm going to use the word attentive. I'm going to use the word attentive. I'm going to use the word proactive. 2 words. As they seem to be attentive and proactive and more experienced than others. Hey, this is just an opinion. You don't have to agree with it. It's just an opinion, but this is a good way to express the opinion. Attentive and proactive are good words. We're talking about service. Proactive means you do it before you are asked. You do it before anyone even asks you to do it. You're proactive. Okay? And then experienced, to be experienced. So we got 10 vocabulary words so far. I'd say that in the, let's get rid of that, we don't need it. I'd say in the photo it shows how American dealers are very good. Are very good as they tend to be. That means usually. As they tend to be attentive, proactive, and more experienced than others. I'd prefer to deal with that kind of dealer. Let's call that salesperson. That kind of sales rep, representative, sales rep. Another good vocabulary word, sales rep. I'd prefer to deal with that kind of sales rep than the usual one who doesn't, doesn't do it enthusiastically, right? Who's just doing the minimum. What do you think about that, Alibek? Does that sound about right? What you want to say?
Yes, exactly that. That's
Okay,
what I mean.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, Alibek, I want to hear you say the entire sales pitch. Let's hear how it sounds. Let me hear you say the entire thing. Steps 1, 2, and 3 now.
Okay, if you scroll up the page a little bit, Okay, that's good. All of the numbers.
Yep, everything.
Okay. It appears to be a motorcycle dealership somewhere in the States because the dealer looks like he's from Detroit. I think Detroit is with capital D.
Yep.
He's got tattoos in the photo. It might be a couple trying to buy a motorcycle. They are most likely testing out the one they like best. I suppose they are having a good time because the dealer seems friendly. I would imagine that the husband is happy with the dealer sales pitch of the motorcycle, which you can see on his face. He seems delighted. In both the picture and my experience of buying a new car, the dealer was friendly and informative, trying to help.
Informative. Repeat. Informative.
Informative.
Good.
And informative, trying to help us decide which was the best fit for our needs. I would say in the photo it shows how American dealers are very good as they tend to be attentive, proactive, and more experienced than others. I'd prefer to deal with that kind of sales rep than the usual one who doesn't do it enthusiastically, who's just doing the minimum.
Okay, perfect. So everyone, all we need to do to finish is add a few connectors. Connectors are words or expressions that link ideas together. And if you go to the Jump to Topic page, you'll see connectors of sequence here. First, after that, next, finally. Okay, that's one kind of connector, but we have other connectors. So let's add a new kind of connector here. Instead of connectors of sequence, we want to add connectors of, I'm going to say, addition. That's one kind of connector. I can say and, also,
besides.
Besides. Good. Oops, I should say besides.
In addition.
In addition to. Sometimes you say that. Okay, but I'm also going to use moreover.
Can I say moreover?
Mm-hmm. Moreover. Now that's formal. Careful. Okay? So formal means you don't use it all the time. Okay? I'm also going to give you something else that I'm going to call conditionals. Now, when you're using connectors of addition with conditionals, it sounds a lot more like a native speaker. Conditionals are would, should, could, and might. These are the basic conditional modal verbs that you need. So look, I'd also say. We could add as well. You might whoops. Besides that, you might point out. Okay? That's an example of how to use your conditionals with connectors of addition. Now, we don't just have connectors of addition, we also have connectors of inclusion. Let's add those. Conclusion. Same thing, exact same thing. So to sum up or summarize, right? So in a nutshell, that's like when you're trying to, another way for it to say summarize is nutshell. Nutshell is a tiny thing. Whatever fits in the nutshell is a summary. So to sum up, so to summarize, so in a nutshell.
Conclusion.
So in conclusion, now in conclusion is formal.
Okay.
That means you don't use it that often. Formal. all in all. Okay, those are some connectors of conclusion and some connectors of
Can
addition.
I say to end up? Can I say to end up, or it's not fit?
So to finish up is a little better.
Yes.
To finish up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to page 5 to finish the class and see how these sound if we put them in. Talking about service. Okay, we're going to add a connector. Well, I should begin by saying, there is your opening connector. We didn't do opening connectors, but I'm going to add one just to show you what I mean. Put it in bold. Well, I should begin by saying, it appears to be a motorcycle dealership somewhere in America because the dealer looks like he's from Detroit. He's even got tattoos. Oh my God, he's got tattoos. In the photo, let's add a connector. I might also point out, look at that connector. In the photo, I might also point out that it might be a couple trying to buy a motorcycle. They are most likely testing out the one they like best. I suppose as well, there's another addition connector. They're having a good time because the dealer seems friendly. I'd imagine that the husband is happy with the dealer's sales pitch, which you can see on his face. He seems delighted. Okay? Now we're going to add more information, so we need another addition connector. I could also say, look at that, more addition connectors. I could also say, in both pictures, and in both the picture and in my experience of buying a new car, the dealer was friendly and informative, trying to help us decide which was the best fit for our needs. And you can add a little comment, which was great. Okay, there's your little comment connector, one that just is an emotional connector. Oh, it was great. Okay, now we need a conclusion. So, all in all, that basically means to conclude. So all in all, I'd say in the photo, it shows how American dealers are very good as they tend to be attentive, proactive, and more experienced than others. And further, that there's another addition connector we didn't say before. Oops, lost my page, 1 second. And further that, bold. I'd prefer to deal with that kind of sales rep than the usual one who doesn't do it enthusiastically, who's just doing the minimum. That's it. Now it sounds exactly like a native speaker because you've got opening connectors, addition connectors, and conclusion connectors in addition to what we said. What do you think? Good?
Very good, yeah.
Very good. Now what do you do with this? Go home, practice. Take the structure that I gave you and apply it to a different picture and see how it sounds. Instead of looking at a picture of dealerships, it was motorcycles, go to Google, go to images, or think about a situation you have to talk about and see if you can give a little description using the same connectors that you saw here. It's a great way to get them into your head. Okay? If you want to do that, write it up, send it to me, and I'll correct it and send it back. Use the Verbling message system, and I'll correct your text. Or bring it to tomorrow's class. That's another possibility. Okay, we're a bit over time. I got to stop. I'll be back tomorrow for 2 classes, starting from 10 GMT to 12 GMT. Great short stories. We're reading a story by Paul Bowles at 10 o'clock GMT. And the next Getting Results in Business class, tomorrow at the same hour, 11 GMT, we're going to work on vocabulary in talking about service. That's tomorrow. Bye for now, everyone. Very good job. Send me your homework if you like, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye for now. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Richard. It has been a pleasure.
Great. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.